Aside from the ability to educate us or take us away on an exciting journey while keeping us thoroughly entertained, and in most situations in general, it's a good idea to read books. There are, however, some books from history that should never be read, including a text message that said to murder anybody who ever read it aloud, and a book that is so deadly that it is sealed away in the hidden vaults of the Vatican. The Book of Saigon, also known as the Book That Kills, is a 16th century Latin book on magic that was thought to be lost forever until 2 manuscripts were found in the British Library in 1990. The strange thing about this book is that it contains encoded grids of letters. One of the manuscripts belonged to a well-known scholar by the name of John Dee. The majority of his life was spent reading and attempting to understand the book. The legend has it that he eventually called upon an angel for assistance. After being so discouraged by the letters, he called on the angel Uriel, who revealed that the book has been around ever since Adam left paradise and that the event might be recreated. It can be understood by no one, save the archangel Michael. This time has not yet arrived. According to urban mythology, its discovery spells certain death within 2.5 years. Semino's Manor is a poem written in Japanese and published in 1919 in the collection The Heart is Like a Rolling Stone. In this heartbreaking poetry, a little child called Tomino expresses his anguish at the loss of his loved ones via words penned from the depths of his own suffering. People say you should just read it in your head and not out loud. The reader's soul will be lost if they read it and shall be doomed to the depths of hell for all of eternity. I won't be reading it out loud at this time. The Necronomicon, also known as the Book of the Names and the Dead, the Book of the Laws of the Dead, the Book of Dead Names, and Knower of the Laws of the Dead, and it contains information on how to raise the dead and is thought to have made the author go insane, is said to be a fictitious book conjured up by horror writer H.P. Lovecraft, and due to the widespread interest in this prop and references to it in his stories, many have published their own versions. The dead are discussed, and there are plenty of terrifying scenarios detailed therein, such as a monster from mythology called a Cthulhu, who is so incomprehensible to the human mind that it has the potential to cause widespread panic. As soon as you start to consider it, your sanity begins to dissolve. Lovecraft claimed that the book was written by a man known only as the Mad. Abdul al-Hazard, an Arab, and the Necronomicon were both bound in human skin. Moreover, this book is supposed to be so bizarrely specific and terrifying that it has developed a worldwide cult following. Most witches thought that their grimoire or Book of Shadows, a book of magic containing rituals and instructions for casting spells, should be destroyed after their death in order to conceal their true magical nature. A collection of mysterious grimoires were put up for auction online in 2013 for a whopping $13,800, with the buyer paying an additional $65 for shipping and handling. They belonged to a famous 60s high priestess of Wicca who led her own coven. The book's handwritten pages included topics such as incantations, curses, spells for calling upon both friendly and hostile spirits, and the concoction of various medicinal and cosmetic preparations, including, oddly enough, a recipe for hairspray. Because to the book being written in Theban, an ancient alphabet used in Wicca to conceal information from non-believers in witchcraft, its existence has been kept secret for centuries. After being translated, the message revealed itself to be a chilling warning, complete with a curse stating, "To those not of the craft, the reading of this book is forbidden. Proceed no further or justice will exact a swift and terrible retribution, and you will surely suffer at the hand of them." Craft. There is a book called The Orphan Tale that was written by a monk back in the early 1600s. Circumstances caused him to break his holy vows, and it relates the story of a young man who, at the age of 14, departs Spain for the Spanish colonies in search of adventure and wealth. The plot revolves around the boy's adventures, some of which involve encounters with pirates. While building and depicting the boy's transformation from a soldier to a monk to an archbishop, despite many attempts to translate and publish it throughout his history, this book did not see print until 2018, more than 400 years after it was written. This is due to the widespread belief that the book is cursed, as anyone who has worked on a translation or publication of it has died under mysterious circumstances. These days, the Grand Grimoire is also known as the Red Dragon, or the Gospel of Satan. An ancient book has immense power, but with that power comes responsibility. The original book is thought to be one of the darkest occult novels ever written. and it is supposedly so frightening that it was authored by someone dubbed an Aureus of Thebes, who claimed to have been possessed by the devil himself. It's hidden away in the Vatican's underground crypts. In reality, not much. Not much is known about the text beyond the fact that it was composed about 1512. The Sacred Magic of Abramelin. The Wizard is a 15th century manuscript translated into English in the year 1900, and it has long had a reputation for being cursed due to the fact that it has been published and contains information and directions on how to call some fairly awful demon. According to legend, Abraham Wurzburg wrote the book after meeting a magician named Abram Elam in Egypt and learning his skill of doing magic. Abraham believed that everyone has their own personal demon, and his book teaches how to summon and control that demon to grant things like previously mentioned, such as the ability to raise the dead, acquire treasures, summon spirits, become invisible, start storms, and even travel through air and water. One drawback of possessing the Holy Book is that any ghosts in the book would be trapped within. They would bring bad fortune and lead to his untimely death in 1648. There was only a few years left in the 30-year battle, as the Swedish army pillaged Prague, taking back with them what would become known as the Devil's Bible, also known as the Codex Gigas. A monk who had broken his vows at some time in the 12th century was slated to write the Devil's Bible as a kind of penance for doing so. A death sentence was handed out against him. Before he passed away, the monk resolved to compile his life's knowledge of humanity into a single volume. He finally gave in and requested the devil, in exchange for his soul, to finish the book he had started. According to the ending, the devil finished the book. The final 10 pages were cut out of the original 320, and there are disturbing pictures throughout. Instructions for performing rituals, as well as descriptions of demons and even depictions of the devil himself. And with that, we're going to finish this video. Thanks for taking the deep dive. If you're new here, make sure to like and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.